passed it to the early colonists that came over to New England. From there, the method got passed down generation to generation, much like in my family. We prepare it the authentic way. We started 3 hours ago, and what we did, we built a bonfire. We stacked wood about this high. On top of that, we put rocks, mostly granite rocks. They tend to hold the heat the best. A little bit more wood on top of that. Put a match to it, and for about the first 20-30 minutes, we have a nice roaring bonfire, a nice good flame. And then the second 30 minutes, all the wood burns away, and that's what we're looking for. It's just a nice bed of coals with our hot rocks. So it takes about an hour for the rocks to get hot enough so that they're the heat source throughout the cooking process. So once we have our nice bed of coals and rocks, we put on top of that seaweed. You can see it around the bottom here. This type of seaweed we affectionately call rockweed around here. We went down to the rocky shores right here. You'd see it. Basically, we call it rockweed because it grows by attaching itself to the rocks. So we sent a crew out this morning at about mid-tide, and they go in and they harvest it by literally tearing from the rocks. So that's the most important ingredient in the cooking process. So what we do is we have our bed of rocks. We throw about 10-12-inch layer of seaweed on top of that, and then what happens is the salt water that's in the seaweed singes against the hot rocks. It all comes up, and you can see that action going on even right now. What happens is that salt water comes right back up into the food, helps to flavor the food, keeps everything nice and moist. So it's unlike charcoal and things like that dry food out. This keeps everything nice and moist. So again, 10-12-inch layer of seaweed. On top of that, we put all the food in stainless steel racks. We cover it in with about 15 layers of heavy, damp canvas. It sits for 2 hours, and we hope for the best.
Look now. Wow.
It's music.
Ooh.
How about a drum roll?
Wow. Ooh.
So as I mentioned, it's a 2-hour cooking process. Who's steamed a lobster at home? Anyone? How long?
Guilty.
10 minutes?
12 minutes, right? So you might be thinking in your head, why did this guy cook our lobsters 2 hours? Clearly a different type of cooking. I like to say that the closest thing it's to, I would say, is like braising or smokehouse, something like that. When you steam a lobster, tail meat comes out almost tough in texture because it's a swimmer muscle, right? Same thing, pork shoulder. You put it in it's a tough cut of meat. You put it in a smokehouse in the morning, the end of the day, it stuff's falling off the bone. Same type of idea. You're going to have the tail meat almost falling apart. So
Those were alive 2 hours ago?
yes, sir. They didn't last long.